Rescue operations in Stilfontein are racing against time. Several bodies remain unattended underground. Law enforcement agencies remain on guard with hundreds of illegal miners arrested. What is the agenda for the coming days? Let's talk now to our reporter Ziniko Mhlaba, who is live for us in Stilfontein this afternoon. Ziniko, good afternoon to you. It is a race against time, but once again, people will be asking the question, what race against time specifically on Stilfontein when the National Police Commissioner says people aren't trapped there. People are able to come up on their own. Those that remain, clearly, those are the people who are intent on continuing with criminal activities.
That's the most interesting question, a very important question, only indeed. If you look at the dynamics and what has been happening, on the ground here in Stilfontein, you're talking about issues of those who have been able to come out safely in good health conditions, and I'm talking about those who have been coming out at Margaret Shaft and those who have been coming out at Shaft 10. So that's where we find a lot of healthy illegal miners resurfacing through those two shafts. But as far as the Shaft 11, which has been a focus point when it comes to the overall operations of this rescue mission, I remember when they started rescuing people at Shaft 11 in our first week here, two gentlemen who were rescued or who came out through the ropes using that form of restoration, the rope, they were not in so much good health. And I'm talking about just two people at the time, and we took a period of about 2 weeks, from the operations there at Shaft 11. And of course, when we returned last week, under the leadership of the South African Police Service, but the people who had been in charge of the actual operations were community volunteers themselves. So we've been seeing, remains or bodies of individuals who have lost their lives underground. So those are the dynamics, those are the different issues that really, paint a very conflicting issue in terms of, is this really a matter of racing around against time, or it's a matter of those who are stuck underground remaining firm in not resurfacing. But if you look at the manner in which that Shaft 11 is designed, there are no climbing points, through that tunnel that goes down compared to other tunnels in Shaft 10 and 11. So it's going to be interesting then to see only what becomes the agenda starting from tomorrow throughout the week. We also understand that the MEC of community safety here might be heading to Shaft 11 this coming week. But to talk more about really what should be the agenda in the next coming days, I'm joined by Sanco spokesperson here in the Northwest Province, Mr. Jem, who has been on the ground for several days trying to engage and playing that peacemaker role here. Thank you very much for your time. You've seen what's been happening here, and you've experienced some of the engagements between government authorities and community volunteers on the ground with their leaders. Looking at where we are and how things have been dragging, what do you think should be the priority now? We've seen a couple of dead bodies being retrieved just last week, but now letters that are coming from the ground are saying that people are critically sick, but also they are saying, please prioritize those who have lost their lives. What should be the agenda right now?
Thank you so much. Considering that the Minister of Police has been here 2 times, when we heard that the National Commissioner was also coming here, we were hopeful that maybe the Minister has given him something to come here and do. But to our dismay, we realized that the Commissioner was actually here to catch up with his colleagues, and that's what happened. So as things stand, we are really stuck, and the only thing that the community should really expect, it's more dead bodies, especially considering the fact that over the weekend there is nothing that we could do, and also considering the fact that the mechanism that is used in extracting those bodies, it's a rope. So we are expecting to see more dead bodies. And we are hoping that perhaps this time when the MEC goes to the shaft, maybe he will come up with something, but we are not holding our breath, considering the fact that he has been coming here now and again, and he comes with nothing all the time.
So Mr. Chairman, there's a bit of a situation here from where I am standing looking at this issue as an outsider, you've got committee members who are really saying that we need to get on the ground, we need to get things going as fast as we can, as soon as we can. And you've got law enforcement agents who are saying we've got the responsibility here of ensuring that the criminality is stopped, that everyone who has committed crime must be held accountable. But now there's an issue of humanitarian services or needs. So it seems as if there's no consolidated approach to this problem, because aid organizations are saying let's supply food to those underground, and they even go to an extent of getting a judicial service to come in. On this side, the government is saying that yes, we do need to supply those, but we must have an orderly manner. We must do that in an orderly manner, in a manner that is not going to promote illegality or criminality. How do you then find balance, from all those perspectives and mandates and responsibilities each side has?
You know what confuses us with regards to the attitude of the government is the fact that no one has ever disputed the criminality with regards to the operations taking there. We have never raised any dispute to over such. But we have always made an appeal to say what we cannot stand for, what we cannot allow is a situation where we are saying by virtue of the fact that these people are criminals must die in that hole. We have been appealing to say the only thing that we are requesting for is that these people must be taken out. And another thing that we find very interesting, at Sabi in Mpumalanga, it's a different situation. The police were busy assisting in pulling people out. But here, we are having a situation where the very same police that we thought would actually come perhaps and assist are very hostile of late. And another thing that perhaps the minister has to take to the police, we have been getting reports of people who are being manhandled and people who are not doing anything other than just pulling on that rope which is supposed to be pulling out these dead bodies. Yes. So it's confusing as to what exactly is the mandate of SAPS in Northwest. Because in Mpumalanga, where the same situation is taking place, the attitude and the approach is not the same. And we wish the money that was actually used, R1 million that was actually used, just given to a machine that was standing on top of the shaft and that just threw a camera down there. Yeah. If that money perhaps was used to buy the community more ropes, because the ropes seems to be doing more work than what the government could actually do. So if perhaps they took some of that money and bought more ropes, that would assist. If they can just make sure that as we continue, there are more ropes, because there are no machines and any assistance that is coming from the government.
So let's talk about the team that was set up by Police Minister Sanco after several organizations felt that they were excluded from decision-making platforms. You, your part as your organization, are part of that task team. I understand SICP, SAFTU, and obviously community leaders. You were all given a platform and an opportunity to sit around the table and consolidate your ideas and plans. But I understand you have not said since you were set up. So what has been the problem? What has been the challenges? Because your committee was supposed to then come up with a consolidated approach to this so that everybody's heard and everybody has an input in terms of how do we solve this problem. Why have you not said?
We made a simple request that the minister must consider removing the MEC as the chairperson of that task team, because the MEC is clowning and we are not running a circus here. People are dying there. So
Have you tried to make a column? Have you tried, to have that meeting
on Thursday, yes, the commissioner was coming. That's only the time that the task team meeting set. The meeting was supposed to sit at 1 o'clock. We stayed waiting for the MEC until 2 o'clock. Then until some of us left. But even those who still waited for the MEC to come and have the meeting, still came back to us and gave us reports to say the meeting, there was nothing fruitful or there is no positive outcome that came out of the meeting. Okay. So in actual fact, the MEC had that meeting so that he is able to say perhaps when the commissioner is here, even the task team which was established by the MEC or by the minister has managed to sit.
Okay, just one last question, very briefly in 30 seconds. Are the operations resuming tomorrow? Can you confirm that?
The operations are resuming tomorrow. We are still going to be using the rope, but fortunately the rope that we are having now, it's new. But we are requesting anyone who has a capacity to assist us in getting more ropes, please assist. But the operations are resuming tomorrow, but we are expecting to see more dead bodies tomorrow, considering that there has been some delays.
Thank you very much, Mr. Champet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Oli, that's the spokesperson of Sanco here, a civic organization, also part and parcel of the conversations and stakeholders who have been leading these operations here in Stilfontein on the ground. As he just said, that indeed those operations will continue tomorrow, but very worrying and concerning is the fact that in reality they're expecting more bodies to be retrieved from as from tomorrow, as we have seen in the past week, several bodies, I think about 6 bodies were retrieved in different states. Others had decomposed. Others were fairly, fresher than those that decomposed. So that's the situation here as we begin those operations again tomorrow. We are not sure when all these conflicting arguments and debates are going to be consolidated, finally, if they will ever be. So let's take a short break. Uxoli Mgambi will continue with news at Prime after the break.